Hello again everybody, this is Isaac from Optimail, back again with another awesomely informative video. Did you know that nutrition is one of the key pillars for achieving real progress in the gym? Yet the majority of gym goers are still eating completely wrong, which is seriously holding them back. As of late, the fitness industry has been overwhelmed with misleading dietary information, often fueled by sponsorships from convenient protein powder brands. This misinformation pushed the idea that bodybuilders should swap out a real nutritious diet with a quick fix of hyper-processed soy-based protein shakes that have a similar taste to cow dung. Unfortunately, anything convenient always comes with hidden drawbacks. As a result, we're witnessing a gym pandemic where people trade off an aesthetic physique and transform into bloated dung beetles just so they can lift a slightly heavier weight. To shy away from the humiliation of being fat, these people will, of course, convince themselves that they are bulking. But what if I told you there was a way you could lift heavy and stay lean without having to turn into a fat slob and drink 20 protein shakes a day? In today's video, we'll be ranking the best and worst foods commonly consumed in the fitness industry, and along the way, we will also be debunking some of the biggest myths and misconceptions that have been thrown around. Let's begin. Alright then everybody, here is the tier list. At the bottom here we have 12 different types of food that are commonly consumed by gym goers and fitness influencers alike. And starting off strong, we of course have grass-fed steak, which is S tier, no doubt about it. It holds a monopoly on the protein world. You're honestly not going to find many other sources of food that are as amazing as this one. It's a source of high quality protein, it's packed full of healthy fats, particularly cholesterol, which is an essential nutrient required for testosterone production. There is a video on the channel titled Supercharged Testosterone with this superfood that will cover more on this topic. Like I said, S tier food, amazing. Eat as much steak as you can, even 20% or full fat mince, whatever you want to call it. You need to be getting some red meat in your diet every single day. Up next is protein powders, and this one is going straight in a void. Just completely skip on the protein powders. They are a waste of money. They are absolutely garbage. They are a scam. They are often full to the brim with synthetic fillers and estrogenic compounds that will significantly hinder your progress. And if you don't believe me, go and grab a protein powder bottle or whatever and check the ingredients on the back, and you will understand why you should never, ever have protein powder. A study has even shown that soy protein, which is commonly used in protein powder, has phytoestrogens which massively disrupt hormonal balance. Absolutely not what you want to be consuming when trying to build muscle at the gym. Avoid this at all costs. Stay away from protein powder. However, on the bright side, up next we have, I believe this is pasture-raised chicken, which in my opinion is a tier food. Now, I don't usually advise eating chicken because unlike things such as steak, mince, chicken just has zero fat content, and it's usually cage raised, which means the chicken is being fed things such as pellets and other horrible grain which fill the chicken with linoleic acid, which will contribute to inflammation when you eat it. However, pasture raised chicken, which is chickens that are effectively free range, is I guess a clean source of protein. It offers some amino acids as well, and it will contribute towards muscle repair, but I just don't think it's as superior as something such as grass-fed steak. It's just nutritionally inferior. You're not going to get as much out of it. If you do buy yourself some chicken to eat, make sure it is a free-range chicken, maybe organic chicken if that's the right word to use. Make sure it's free from hormones, no vaccines, no antibiotics, and you should be good to go. On the topic of chickens, up next we have eggs, which are a absolute S tier food. I know chicken itself is below eggs, but you have to hear me out. Eggs are amazing. It's an amazing choice of food, especially as a post-workout. It is packed full of cholesterol, which is needed for recovery. And a study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism has highlighted that cholesterol intake has a largely positive impact on testosterone levels and recovery times after exercise, making eggs a S tier food. Personally, I love mixing eggs in with raw milk. Raw egg yolks, obviously, I get rid of the whites, they're kind of useless, but the yolk is amazing. Eat as many eggs as you can a day. Go ham. Up next, we have organic fruit, which once again is a S-tier food. Organic fruit is amazing. It is a perfect source of carbohydrate. It's easy to digest. Obviously, you have to be careful of things such as pesticides and other preservatives. However, it's an amazing source of carbohydrates. Plus, fruit tastes amazing. It's easy to get. Just make sure you're getting organic sourced fruit that has no pesticides in it. Up next, we have white rice. Now, white rice is an interesting one that I think sits in A tier because white rice is, once again, another amazing source of carbohydrates. It's one of the easiest carbs to digest. But aside from its carbohydrate content, rice doesn't really contain any other notable nutrients, unlike something such as organic fruit. So, whilst it is good for replenishing glycogen stores without causing too much digestive stress, fruit is just a better option to go for, and that's why I've put rice in A tier. I will quickly mention, make sure you avoid brown rice at all costs. Historically, we have always avoided brown rice, mainly because it's just not good for us. But now we know brown rice is high in arsenic, which is a harmful heavy metal. You want to be avoiding this at all costs. Up next, we have vegetables. Now, I am not very much a fan of vegetables. I'm going to be putting vegetables in B tier. I don't think you need to avoid vegetables, but I do think you need to limit your amount of intake of vegetables because although they are packed full of fiber and vitamins, most vegetables are inorganic. They're high in oxalates, they're high in lactic acid. All of this contributes to inflammation. A study has shown that oxalates combined to essential nutrients and minerals, reducing their absorption, and that non-organic vegetables often carry pesticide residues which can damage our health. Vegetables are honestly just not a good source of food to be eating lots of. However, I advise against completely ridding your diet of vegetables and instead focusing on organic, pesticide-free produce. Up next, we have another S-tier food, and that is animal organs. This picture here is, I believe that's lamb liver and lamb heart. This is S-tier, no doubt about it. It is a incredibly nutrient-dense food. They're packed full of vitamins and minerals. If you've been here before, you'll know that I suggest you eat animal organs at least once or twice a week, as it is amazing for your health. Personally, I enjoy having my liver raw. You don't have to. I'd advise cooking it unless you get it from a high-end butcher's. But just make sure you're eating your animal organs. It'll help you so much. Keep your vitamin levels balanced, your minerals balanced. Perfect food. And here we have protein bars, which I believe you should completely avoid. It's a horrible source of food. Similarly to protein powder, which we spoke about earlier, it is packed full of sugar, it's packed full of artificial sweeteners, and it's also got loads of processed sources of protein such as soy, which as we mentioned has cytoestrogens, turns you into a woman. And this is just a food you should avoid at all costs. There is no reason you should be substituting real food for scam protein alternatives. You'd be much better off just having a couple eggs after a workout than having something such as a protein bar, especially as a pre-workout. If you want a pre-workout, just get yourself some honey, put a bit of salt on top, you'll be good to go. Yeah, avoid at all costs. Up next, we have raw milk. This is going to be a bit of a long one. Raw milk on its own is amazing as a post-exercise recovery drink, but I usually mix it with a bit of sugar such as maple syrup or raw honey, and this is because it triggers a growth hormone called IGF-1, known as insulin growth factor, that massively promotes muscle growth and recovery. And of course, it tastes absolutely amazing when you get raw milk fresh. It's high in tons of vitamins, immunoglobulins, probiotics. Everything you want is in raw milk. I probably drink about 1 to 2 liters of this a day. You want to be drinking that much. It is a amazing food. It tastes amazing. Just mix a bit of sugar in there, a bit of maple syrup, organic of course, organic maple syrup. You're going to be getting jacked fast. Up next, we have pork, which I personally believe is a B tier food. Now, but I personally would avoid pork at all costs. It's just I'm putting it in B because bacon tastes nice, I suppose. But the reason we're avoiding pork is because it is usually factory raised or pasture raised. Pork is always packed full of vaccines, and studies have shown that pork contains significantly more linoleic acids when compared to other animal meats. Now, linoleic acids you do not want to have in your produce. It will contribute to inflammation. You will struggle to put muscle on if you have a diet which is, for example, 80% pork. Try and get yourself some steak, mince. You'd honestly be better off with chicken than pork. Not only that, But as I mentioned, pork is just, it's neutrally inferior, even to chicken. Like, if there was a tier list, it would go steak, chicken, pork. Pork is at the bottom always. It's just an awful food to have. Yeah, bacon tastes nice, especially smoked bacon. That's really good. But it's just a low tier food that isn't really worth consuming. It's not worth your money or your time. B tier food. And finally, the last food we have is meal replacement shakes. Honestly, this is the exact same as protein bars and protein powders. They're always full of sugar, they always have artificial sweeteners in them, they're always made with soy-based protein, which is highly estrogenic and has no real nutritional value to it. Meal replacement shakes are an awful substitute for a whole foods diet due to their complete lack of bioavailable nutrients, and just avoid them at all costs. So that is the tier list completed. If you couldn't guess already, I am highly against substituting a real S-tier food diet for garbage alternatives such as protein powders. If you're interested in learning more about diet and its correlation with health, stick around because Optimail is going to be releasing countless more videos and a free testosterone crash course on our website very soon, which will cover the basics and help you get started on your genuine health journey. Thank you for watching, have a great rest of your day, and remember, testosterone is very important. Goodbye.